We are recording. Welcome back to the Star Wars Hunters podcast. I am your DM, and I'm here with the Forever DMs, playing a little bit of Star Wars 5e. As we last left off, you guys have finally got your ship, a payment for your very first job that you did, catching a Imperial in the Undercity of Coruscant. Flying to Braca, you guys had to choose between three ships. You chose the ugly one.
Damn right.
We did.
It has character.
And space for lots of explosives.
So,
yeah, right.
Getting the ship from this ship designer, ship mechanic, what do you do with your very first starship? You immediately try to find a port of call to rearm the thing. So, checking out your star charts, hitting hyperspace for the first time in this nameless vessel. Watt digging through the thermal ducts and the gantries and the other, like, the fucking tubes on the ship. You guys have seen him every now and again. You just see, like, a fuzzy tail hanging, like you know, the alien tail in Aliens, but it's like a fuzzy tail as it just disappears back up into the ducts. He's in the fucking walls, man.
I'm just imagining through this entire first jump to Lantillies, we just random stuff comes like getting thrown out of vents as Watt is just like, don't need that, redundant, why is this even here, and just shit clanking around the ship.
Pretty much, there's like a pile of just useless equipment sitting in the middle of one of the floors of just crap that he's pulled out of this ship that Watt feels isn't needed. So, traveling through hyperspace as you guys pick the port of call, the Lantillies. Did you guys pick Lantillies on purpose for the shipyards? Because there are shipyards.
Yes. Yes, that was
the closest thing on the way to shit. Where are we going? Otherwise, it's Canary.
Yeah,
so this is the thing, like kind of on the hyperspace lanes towards the Canary sector. That
I think we had one other option, but we were like, with this one as a shipyard, so
yeah, this one definitively had shipyards, which is why we went this route.
So it was the major crossroads here.
Major crossroads.
So with this being a hub of starship repairs, leaving from Braca, you have, I believe I told you, at least a day. I think it said a day and a half, maybe a day.
That sounds about right.
In hyperspace. That's one thing they don't talk about in Star Wars. Which, although I do comment that one of the things that Rogue One added to the Star Wars universe that I absolutely fucking love. Clone Wars added the ships coming out of hyperspace effect, which the boom, of them arriving. I fucking love that. But Rogue One brought in the over-the-shoulder camera effect of the ship coming out of hyperspace or going into hyperspace. I love that effect. I love it. It's been in every Star Wars since Rogue One. But one thing I don't talk about in Star Wars movies is that, yes, hyperspace isn't always just 3 seconds or 5 seconds to the next destination. Sometimes, especially going from one side of the galaxy on the Outer Rim to the other side of the galaxy on the Outer Rim, you could be in hyperspace for weeks.
Yeah.
There's reason they're hyperspace routes and fuel stops on the way, and Oh, speaking of that, did you guys see that Spaceballs 2 is coming out?
Oh my god.
We're not sponsored or anything. We're not
I had such conflicted feelings, but they're getting a lot of names back for it that makes me hopeful.
Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement, and Mel Brooks, even though it's 2 years from now, 90-some-odd-year-old Mel Brooks is supposed to be yogurt again. So they better be filming his shit now, because I don't want a Carrie Fisher moment of trying to finish this. Which I'm sure it's Mel Brooks. He's got a plan if he passes away before it's done. And I'm sure it's funny as hell. But anyways, so with that being said, because we haven't spoken or hung out in a couple weeks, so we're catching up on that. You guys have entered hyperspace, and you heard what are your characters doing for this day or so travel in hyperspace? Is there anything any of you guys wanted to get done?
So we had talked about potentially looking at hidden storage as a suite upgrade. So Thule is in the 2 loading docks or cargo bays that we have, sorry, and is just rummaging through floor panels, trying to find space to start this. So he's like checking in corners. He's going around just trying to see if there's anything kind of like Watt, but less technical and more just heavy lifting.
So
if that makes sense.
So you're the dad looking at a garage at a home you're about to buy. You're like taking
You're kicking the tires.
Oh yeah.
You're taking measurements, seeing what you can fit in here.
We could put at least 3 workbenches right here, and if we angle them just right, we can still hide stuff in the corner.
And that can hold a 100-inch monitor, and we can watch games from Canto Bight.
Can someone remind me, where is our final destination?
Kenari.
Kenari, yeah. Kenari.
For those of you
was...
Star Wars Easter egg fans, Kenari is the homeworld of Caspian Andor.
Cassian, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Caspian or Cassian? Cassian.
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 We're about to finish season 1. No spoilers.
That's right. You haven't even started season. Oh, season 2 was so good. So good.
I'm only like 2 episodes into season 1, so like.
Buddy.
I know.
Dude, Emily and I started watching Star Wars content
together, and then we've had so little time to like watch stuff.
And it's so, dude, it's so like culturally relevant right now too. Holy shit!
Oh my god!
I'm probably gonna have to break down and just watch that one on my own. I don't think she's gonna care that much.
Yeah.
Say one of
highly recommend.
See, since Derek, you've seen all of it. Like I can say my favorite line from the whole series is the "Who the hell are you?"
Spoiler-free line.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I laughed so hard. I thought I was like, that's so perfect.
It's the Thanos. I don't even know who you are.
I don't even know who you are.
You took everything from me. I don't even know who you are. So is this is the run from up to Lantillies the No Emperor's March parade? You said it's culturally relevant. Just trying to.
No, we're talking about Andor is culturally relevant.
Yeah.
So and where is the so what was the sector for all of that? Because if I'm looking at the map right and I remember correctly, are we close to Mandalore, or like is our final destination in the same kind of quadrant as Mandalore?
I don't think so. Not that I remember, at least.
I don't know, but Wikipedia knows. Or the.
So I wanted to say it was like it was like in the middle of something over here. It wasn't marked on the map.
Yeah, I do believe like where that ping just happened is pretty accurate. It was right around.
Okay, Mandalore itself.
I'm pinging it on the star map.
Mandalore itself is.
So we're like a sector off.
Oh yeah, we're not too far. Yeah.
We should have taken the other ship. That would have been really fun.
Oh, I kept it in mind, but you gotta keep in mind storyline wise. Mandalore right now is still a cursed planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got fucking torched.
They got glassed.
It hasn't recovered at all from being raised. Yeah.
Nowhere near being reclaimed. Like right now, they still consider it a completely cursed planet. Like they don't even know that you can go down to the surface.
Nice. Okay.
And the Mandalorians are like scattered to the winds. So you are checking the optional storage on the ship, and Fisk, what are you doing?
Probably pretty similar, but just trying to work out where the best spots for demolitions workshops type stuff is going to go. Not too close to the engine rooms if we can help it, just in case.
Or close to an outside hole.
But yeah, past a point, there's only so many different places you can put it, but trying to gauge best places for that sort of stuff.
And
occasionally looking through everything that Watt is throwing out, see if there's any like random components that can be repurposed or reused for anything. Or
you go by the pile of stuff, and every time you go by it, it seems to have more and more stuff when people aren't even looking. Like you haven't seen them come out of the vents yet, but more and more shit is being piled up. At one point you come by and there's just a whole refresher just sitting there on the pile, like an entire toilet. Don't know where it came from, but it's just sitting there.
So it didn't need to be there. That's why it's there now.
So In the process of Tisk looking for places to build a demolitions workshop, or Thule looking at a place to convert some of the 2 massive cargo holds into one of them into being a workshop area. Shug, what are you doing?
I'm obviously the foreman of all of this. So like Shug's throwing shit out, or fucking Watt's throwing shit out of the vents, and I'm going in there and making sure that he's not pulling out anything important. And then Tisk is like, yes, right here, good place for fucking for workbench. So I'm like, no, you can't put that there. That's gonna interfere with our friend's storage over here. And Thule's like, yeah, this is where my shit goes. And like I'm like fucking like I have the floor plans. And I'm like drawing shit out.
You got the little hollow map up on your
yeah.
You're Tony Stark in it with your hands.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what Shug spends all of his time doing.
I the only like. The one line out of all of this is like one of us starts doing something and Shug's just going, you know how much it's gonna cost? Like
he's the one that's keeping track of all the credits. Like how much is?
We're trying to run a legitimate business here, right?
Right now
maybe legitimate's not the right word.
several credits in the hole, and we didn't even buy this ship.
What do I look like? I'm made out of credits?
All right, so
plans for the future.
There's nothing else the party wanted to do. Fast forwarding a day's worth of hyperspace travel. You guys are in the cockpit, ready as the alert comes off that you guys are about to come out of hyperspace. And as you do, shoom, camera effect, boom, ship slows down. You guys see Lantillies, this beautiful world from a distance, but you guys aren't even landing on the world as you see these several rings that are going around Lantillies of shipyards that are built around this planet. You see various different ships of different make and of different species. You see Mon Calamari ships. You see a lot of Krellian ships. You actually...
There's a Chevy, there's a Toyota.
Yeah. And on top of that, you see a couple of Alderaanian vessels that happen to be pod. You actually see a pod of Alderaanian vessels.
Alderaanian.
Yeah,
okay.
Alderaanian vessels that are just kind of like a flotilla of several ships kind of floating off into orbit as you watch as some of them are coming down and docking and apparently being worked on, and the others are joining back onto this flotilla of ships. As you guys near one of the nearest starports, you guys are hailed, and this little hollow projector, boom, pops up on your dash. Who is piloting your ship?
Out of hyperspace, when the warning went off, Thule would have reclaimed the helm.
Okay. So setting into your luxury minivan of a ship, this is very, very cushy. You see a little blue hollow projection, little miniature hollow projection of a human. Can't really tell lighter skin tone, but of course it's blue color. You see darkish hair. Uniform is not New Republic, not Empire. It seems to be at one point might have had markings on it, but they've been removed. It now looks like just a regular, like, standard jumpsuit. Unnamed vessel. You're a freighter, right? Where are you coming in, Lantillies? You don't have a flight plan.
What is our ship's current transponder name? Did it have one?
Did not.
You leave it to me. It's just to be members of the Wu-Tang Clan, guys. It's gonna be RZA. It's gonna be Jizza.
It had two swappable transponder codes. You guys did not state what their names were because I said you can come up with them.
No, let me do it.
Learn from my mistakes. Do not allow Sean to name things in isolation.
No, it's all right. We can come up with something together.
So is the Wu-Tang Clan your Pink Floyd? Because if I'm playing D&D and I can't think of a cleric's name, I use Pink Floyd member names.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Iron Flag was Enter the Wu-Tang.
There's so many Father Waters, Father Wrights, Father Gilmores in my world. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
So my character's name was Zarek, and it was spelled TZA. So there was the Tizza entering the Wu-Tang every time we went into Iron Slag, and it was Jacob hated it.
Okay, so what you're telling me is if you guys don't come up with a name, this ship's going to be called the Wu-Tang. Or the Tang Wu.
Hang on. We can come up with something.
I don't know. Tang Wu's kind of tight. I might make a character named Tang.
I vote that points ends up in the name. The word points. Something points or
As the party is scratching their heads, remember to visit boardgameboss.com, the one-stop shop for all things tabletop.
Those guys are great. I'm sad this is podcast because the guy who's saying those guys are great is wearing a Board Game Boss t-shirt.
I was about to say, I'm sitting here looking at the Board Game Boss t-shirt. And be sure to stop by Book...
Toot my own horn, but
and
toot.
Dude, those guys are great.
And be sure to check out the VTuber Alazifa Book of the Dead on Twitch.
Nah, he's fucking lame.
Oh, this is what we get for not talking about this in between weeks.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think we lean into the whole like why did we create this team? Why did this team form in the first place? And that's to hunt Imperials, right? So what can we come up with that's kind of like cheeky, like nodding to that, but not being super obvious that that's what we're doing? You know, like that's the kind of arrogant kind of name that I feel.
But at the same time, has to still work for a freighter.
Yes,
because the whole point of going with a freighter is that this is not like a bounty hunter.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Exactly.
Well, that's the thing is you have two names to come up with. It's two different transponder codes that are swappable.
Well, one here in the moment. We can work on the other.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So I feel like birds are pretty like good go-tos. You know, like we got a lot of hawks and falcons and fucking. We could go with like a lark or some shit. I don't know. Some talon.
A mockingbird.
I actually kind of like that. That's kind of funny because we're like.
Actually, it's not always birds, because one of the coolest ships in the Star Wars expanded universe is the Minoc, and that's from the Legacy comic book series.
Yeah. I'm just throwing out suggestions. I'm trying to generate ideas. I'm not saying it has to be a bird.
Ever since we brought it up, like throwing out something as an alternative in case it piques some thought. Ever since we've thrown out reference to other spaceships while we were like working through making this thing up, like Rosinante has like just stuck in my head.
We could do a rose. We could do something rose.
Such a cool
so the Rosinante also means like the workhorse in terms of like its meaning. So I'm literally just like throwing stuff out here at the moment. I'm not beholden to anything.
The rose's envy.
Yeah, I'm an ass, and I'm like thinking about stuff like erectile dysfunction,
imperative disorder.
We could call it the can't miss.
We can't.
So shipnamegenerator.com gives us Stellar Driftmire.
I was about to say there are several Star Wars random name generators for ships. Because before you guys said that you wanted to come up with it on your own, I was about to just hit that and give you two random names.
We're better than that. Well, apparently Sean's not, but
he might be using it for inspiration.
What was the dude's name that gave us the ship?
Oh God, please don't name it after him.
Jude.
No, I'm just okay.
I hate Jude.
So Jude was involved. Axis is who we work for.
Yeah, we should probably leave that part out of the name, though.
Yeah. No, again, just like throwing whatever out.
Yeah.
What's the name of your ship? CIA van.
What the fuck's the CIA? But if you put it all together, it's just Sia van.
Yeah.
And that sounds kind of cool. You guys, we could just name the ship Bad Baby.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it.
It doesn't have to be the official name. It could be our like transponder name or whatever. You know, like the one of them.
We either want to come up with at some point. So like we can throw something out there for the time being, and always come up with something on the other.
The thing is,
So
this is what I imagine is happening by like in real time. They're like, "Hey, like, what's your ship?" And I'm like, we didn't talk about that. What are we calling the ship?" And we're like pitching shit back and forth. And they're like, "Unnamed freighter. What is your call sign?" And we're like, "Come on, I could just call it Bad Baby. You like Bad Baby, right? I like Bad Baby."
That's actually how I was picturing it.
Tisk isn't even up there. He's back working on the workshop, but like music comes on, it's fucking Bad Baby. So yeah.
For those of you joining us who have not watched the deep lore, Bad Baby is an all Anzellan boy band in the Star Wars universe
that we made up. It's canon in our world. It's our head canon.
Right,
yeah. All right. So I type in Bad Baby and then launch transponder.
So one of our transponders is Bad Baby.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay. But I couldn't go with Wu-Tang. I see how it is.
I was fine with Tang Wu. I thought that was going to be pretty
Bad
good.
Baby's a band in this universe, not our universe.
So just for future thought, I like the idea of something Takosan. We've referenced a lot of Japanese history in other games we've played and things we've done together. And Takosan were the iron ships of the Nobunaga era.
Rad.
So I think being a larger Japanese naval vessels weren't the sleekest of things.
Yeah.
I think being a larger freighter, throwing like you mentioned Rose or something like that. If we wanted to be, the Tokosen Rose or Rose Tokosen.
Tokosen also sounds like a cough syrup.
Yeah, you drink you get enough of us and we'll fuck you up.
Sometimes we'll make you laugh.
Fever dreams, right? But
Yeah, I've had enough of those. But when I was in high school, we all fucking drank Robitussin before school to get that buzz.
statute of limitations. I'm here for it. Tell us
Oh,
more.
look how far you've come.
Yeah. What are you talking about? I had a bar in my locker in high school. People would fucking pay me to fill up their Coke bottles.
Jesus Christ.
Entrepreneur
No,
at that young age.
Legit shot. I kind of like Rose Tokosen.
That's the
right, I'm
legit.
gonna-
I can get down. I can get down on that.
If we're
also-
set on
I feel like
Baby
we-
being one, we can. I'm gonna write that
like-
down as our second one.
I feel like we should wait for Gabe's input on this one, maybe.
Oh, he's busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Decision need not be made right this moment. But I'm. I vote
Right
that
this
direction.
moment, you gotta need a decision on one.
No, I mean we're
I mean,
I think that
Baby's locked
baby's,
in, dude. It's already been
locked
typed.
in.
This is the bad baby. Who am I? Who's hailing?
All right, let's see. I'm gonna see how the guy reacts to that. And when you look and you say this is the bad baby in your monotone stoic voice, you just hear coming back. No, it's not.
Not to be confused with the boy band. We're a simple freighter line.
All right, so bad baby. What's your port of call? Why are you in Lantillies without a flight plan?
Seeking some kit for our next jump.
Oh, seeking repairs?
Repairs and modifications.
We do apologize. We're gonna have a little bit of a wait when it comes to that, and you see a hand sticking into the hollow from basically off camera, and it starts slapping the guy on the shoulder, and you hear this old voice, no, hold on, and he grabs the guy's shoulder and pulls it out, and you see this kind of tall for an Ugnaught looking gentleman sticks his head in and goes, wait a second, and he's got. At first, he looks like he has one eye, but you notice one eye is just really squinty. As he looks up, one eye's a little wider. He goes, Raider, does that ship need a wash? Now, Thule,
Yeah.
I need you to roll me anything that you would roll to remember your pirate history.
That's what it's open. Yeah.
Justified check.
So yes, roll me a justified check. What skill would you use for this challenge?
We're gonna go with piloting, because Thule has put down ships for Hondo before, and has had to use this kind of jargon call and response. So he's gonna use his piloting knowledge to see if he can figure out what we're talking about here.
That's a 17 on the die.
That's a dirty, filthy 20.
Dirty girl.
The
Dirty
best
20. A horrible
Like
dirty
a
20.
bad baby.
Like a bad baby.
No.
Oh no! No!
Filthy, dirty
No!
baby.
No!
We just blew
Like I went there. Jesus Christ.
No! Oh
This
no!
one's at home right now. I'm gonna need.
did this.
Oh god, no! I'm
Holy shit.
for a loss. Okay, so with that 20, you know exactly what this gentleman is asking. He's asking, is this ship not of the up and up? Is this ship not a legal ship? Are you needing repairs or refitting or anything underneath the table, as it were? As does this ship need a wash? Is pirate code, or does this ship need some cleaning?
Yeah, you just that's fine.
I mean, it's real dirty. Clearly, as we
yeah.
established.
So I think our answer is yes, though. I think it's even if like the ship itself is not like
But Thule,
dirty.
do you
The modifications that we're going to have made to it means like if we say yes, we can get those modifications made under the table, and so no one will know that this ship has those.
But that's also Thule, do you choose to share this with the crew, or this is something that you keep for yourself?
So he says that, and Thule, without missing a beat or sharing anything subversive off comms, is sure do need to be squeaky clean.
And you see him like shoving the other guy, the first guy that talked to you off of it. He goes, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a ping. I want you to come. No waiting, no line. Come to the workshop over on the edge. B3. Yeah, you'll get a ping on your Mylar. You'll see it. Oh, that ship ain't gonna fit. So hook up to the dock underneath. But don't worry, any work I can do in specs, it's fine.
You there?
And sure enough, as soon as the hollow goes off the terminal on your readout, on the little readout of the ship, of the little hollow image on the little view panel, you see a little dot ping up, bing, 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 alerting you to which outside dock airlock he wants you to go hook up to, which is on the underside of the station. You see...
Shook says... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you see the line of ships waiting, especially the Alderaanian ships and all the other ships. As you guys are looking and as this starts pinging, everyone other than Thule, give me a perception check looking at these ships.
Let's see.
Nice.
There's another dirty, filthy 20.
So many bad babies.
No, still not good. So... with that, Tisk, as Thule starts to take her in, as it were, you know,
this is good. Ugnaughts do good work. Not as good as Inzelans, but pretty good. Hey, once we get down there, just these guys aren't always, reputable. So if they're trying to pull one over, just keep an eye out. Be ready to,
You're doing the talking, boss. I'm just the muscle.
As Shug and Thule are talking, Tisk, one thing that you notice looking at these ships going in as you're going closer, the line of ships waiting, hellacious line trying to get a port of call. Some of them, fitting the nature of the universe right now, some of them various different degrees of different disrepair. Some of them have blaster holes, scorch marks, obviously ambushed. Pirate activity when there's no real authority in the middle of a war kind of turns, raises up.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing, Tissa, you notice is the lack of something else. You see all types of species and makes and models of ships represented here in this, lack of a better term, this traffic jam of ships going into Lantillies. But there's two vessels that you don't see. Two types of vessels you don't see. You don't see any New Republic vessels, and you don't see any Imperial.
Okay.
Do we know? Do any of us? Can we make some kind of roll to see if we know why that is?
What would you tell me? What rule? If Tis points this out to you, what rule would you make?
I think at some point I would have popped up while we're going across and taking a look around, and even if I don't call out the New Republic, I would no New Republic. I would point out no Imperial, probably for the best.
I would like to make a lore check to see if Shug might know why that is. Just whether it's through the lens of he might know Lantillies because of the work that they do, the shipping work they do. Is
be able to make a similar check, kind of leaning into that same check that we made earlier of understanding the jargon being used here.
I rolled a 15.
15.
Yeah.
Billy, what do you roll?
A 14.
14. Oh, with a combination of you two, it's not really a lore, or as it were, but it's more of a recent news. And that is, Lantillies was predominantly, the shipyards were taken over by Imperial assets during the Empire. But when the Empire started withdrawing back to Coruscant after the Battle of Jakku, they left a lot of stuff they falling back, they had to abandon a lot of posts and a lot of locations. Then it hits you, this uniform he had on was an Imperial jumper with the logos removed. It seems that with the absence of New Republic, absence of Imperial, and the fact that there's no markings even on the ports themselves, Lantillies might have just and it does say it in some of the holo journals that you guys have seen over the course of the last couple of months. Once the holonet was made free again, Lantillies might be remaining as neutral now, not swearing with the New Republic or the Empire, which is getting common with a lot of planets not wanting to be part of the conflict after the war just ended. Which is also something that becomes a problem in the new Mandalorian series when they state that, not a lot of people are signing the charter to the New Republic.
Yeah.
So,
if you'll excuse me for just a moment, I'm gonna let the dogs out and pour myself another drink. I'll be right back.
Sean did it.
Finally we know.
Yeah, we know the question. It's that is one of the biggest questions that's in the rep industry. It's everyone's who shot Tupac, but it's who did let the dogs out, and did that bitch get out of the way?
Right. Inquiring minds need to know.
Yes, exactly. So
I'm so disappointed.
so with that being said, Thule taking the ship in that is now on, autopilot because he walked to let the dogs out. Taking it in, the ship flies a little low below the workshop area that's pinging, and you see very, very much like the scene of Cloud City when the Millennium Falcon goes up and catches Luke. Tully brings the ship up to the bottom of the station, and you guys hear the metallic thunk as the airlock seals to the top of the elevator. You just hear Watt.
Like flying a refrigerator.
It's like you don't know where Watt is, but you just hear his voice echo from somewhere around you like an omnipresent voice that says, "What just happened?"
Airlock. Going on an adventure. Are you joining us or no?
No!
Okay, stay away from that compressor coil.
You just smell burnt hair.
Let's see.
All right, off we go, right?
Yeah, so
What kind of repurposed stuff we can find. Oh no, repurposed is not the phrase Tully would use, because repurposed relates to what, right?
Yes, he was a repurposed species, which is another name for
Yeah.
slave.
Yeah, let's not use, Tully would not use that term then.
So
Let's see what goodies got left behind. Sure, that works.
You struggled there, bud.
So you guys, taking the elevator that goes between the floors on this freighter, you guys take it up into the airlock as the elevator continues. Being a hover lift, it takes you up into the airlock as you come out, basically out of the floor of this workshop. This workshop that is just a mess of hanging wires, dripping oil. You see several droids, all of which you see a couple of pit droids that have obviously been worked on. You see one 3PO style service droid in the back whose arms have been replaced with almost a lift-like system that's lifting apart as another droid is working on underneath it. You see a gonk droid that's kind of walking, but the gonk droid has the back of it's open like a toolbox with like several parts hanging out of it. Shug, the first thing you notice, Tisk and Thule, this place looks absolutely wrecked. Horrible. Filthy, disgusting. Shug, you look at it, you just see an artisan's studio. This place is perfect for basically creating whatever the hell you want.
So I like tap Tisk. I'm like, see, I told you they do good work. Not as good as Ugnaughts, but still.
there's just a growl and show of teeth as I just take in this absolute utter mess.
You see this elderly looking guy who, for an Ugnaught, he's much taller. Probably on the tallish side. Instead of being like 3 foot, he's almost 5 feet as he comes walking up. But you notice in the hollow, it didn't do him justice. One eye is actually bigger than the other, and it's almost bulging out of his head as he walks up, and he's like, I noticed that ship as soon as I saw it. I've seen that ship before. You're with Hondo, aren't you?
No.
Oh,
But we don't associate with him. In fact, my friend kind of gets angry when you bring him up.
that's fine. I don't like Hondo either. The name's Ludo. I've worked here since before the Empire and the Old Republic. We've been handling spacers like you under the table for years. I knew I said, as soon as I saw that ship, these people have taste. Like, that's an armored freighter. It's like you get a mechanic that's even worth a little bit of spice. That thing will run you forever, and it'll take a licking doing it.
That was our thoughts exactly.
Like Hondo, then you must have good taste too.
When he pays, he's fine. However, what do you need done? What do you need done?
Well, let's say that. Wait, are we doing the smuggle storage thing that we talked about?
So we'd like to add the hidden storage suite and a workshop suite. Were the two suites we wanted to make.
Thank you for the reminder. Okay.
There was also the discussion of whether or not we wanted to see what could be done of pulling out the recreation suite to maybe do something else. But obviously, all of these things cost.
Yeah,
dollars.
but it might be a world where we can use the recreational suite materials to repurpose and we save some money or something. I don't know.
He's looking back and forth like a dog with a chew toy, obviously taking in all of this. All right. You want a smuggler special, Like, I get that. You want to be able to build boom booms and shooties. Get that too. Recreational suite. Why the hell you got that? It's like,
We don't want it.
I mean, this.
I like Deseric.
What's
Well,
smuggling?
you have your own Deseric board. You can leave. We can play on that.
That's like a Calrissian thing. It's like, what? You want to sit here and have like some luxury suite on a damn ugly ass freighter like that? No, that's a workhorse. It's like, what? You're gonna go pick up a bunch of Twi'lek girls and take her out in that thing? It's they're just gonna laugh at you.
Too small for my taste.
No. You don't want it pretty. You don't want it pretty. You want it to do a job.
I kind of there's another growl, and I look down towards Shug. I changed my mind. I like this one.
All right, so
If you have the resources from piloting this thing through hyperspace
all right,
and potential future work, I could also,
I can tell you.
if possible, I would like to look at a hardened prow and a threat tracker for the nav system.
All right, I can tell you one thing. If you came to me a year ago, I might be able to get all of this, because when the Empire was here, they were so fat you could just sneak anything under their nose. The problem is the Empire's gone. New Republic's not here. You got Lantillies. I mean, you know what they say: power vacuum. Anybody's gonna move in. Resources, kind of scarce right now. Especially if you ain't got the money to pay the hut.
The hut.
The hut, yeah. Fucking
Okay.
a slug.
Who's in power now?
This slug came up from Nar Shaddaa. Like, as soon as the Empire was out, he was in. And he had enough credits to throw around that all of the ex-Imperials, like ex-Imperial troopers, just got hired on as him. Any security you see, ex-Imps. All of them working for the hut. All of them.
Which hut are we talking about?
Immediate, just low, throaty, like that comes from Tisk, and it just smile goes wide, all teeth.
Chuta hates the huts.
This young hut trying to make a name for himself to earn some credits and go back to Nar Shaddaa. He's a little slug. He's nothing. He ain't even part of a house. His name is Klorbda Pliz. It's like I actually think his father was a hut that was exiled from Nar Shaddaa. He ain't got no contacts, no nothing. All he had was he showed up with a fat little handful of credits and started throwing it around, and now he owns the station practically.
Interesting.
But that's your problem. That's going to be your biggest problem. It's like, I could do all the work in the world. It's going to cost you a pretty credit, but your problem's going to be is you got to get past that slug if you want to get anything. Like, it's like there's a girl I know, sweetest girl. She's like a goddaughter to me. Her little shop is starving, dying. She can't even get food to sell because of this guy. Because she won't pay the luxury tax, the food tax for the stuff that he brings in now. And man, and she made noodles. Oh, noodles, they were so good.
Oh no, he got us! Situation right there.
Noodles, you say?
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
She had the sweetest name, cutest name. It's like I helped fund her. It's like, you know, her parents are from Tatooine. The name of the name of the shop was Sarlacc Soups. Isn't that cute?
This is what a nat 20 looks like in real life. Nat 20 persuasion roll right there.
So you have made a hard case, but is anyone prepared to fill the power vacuum if this hut were to go away?
Oh no, you don't want him to go away. No, that's the problem. You don't want him to go away. Right now, he's the worst of two evils. Like I hate to see who would come in right now. Everybody right now, you say, hey, we got a hut that's running the base. Everyone's like, oh no, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to mess with the clans, you know. But he ain't attached to the clan. He ain't got nothing to do with the clans. He's an offshoot. He's a reject. It's like just because he's a hut, people are afraid to move on him. So like, yeah, you could take him out. You don't want to take him out. I'd hate to.
Why?
Because I just said I'd hate to see what replaced him. You got a galaxy out there eating itself.
Time out. I'm a little confused because you were just complaining about your daughter and what granddaughter. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Goddaughter.
Sure. Do you want us to take care of this problem for you so that you can continue your business, or do you not?
Oh no! If you're sitting here thinking, if you're sitting here with me telling you that I want you to go kill the hut, no. That ain't even what I'm talking about here. I don't want you to do that. What are you talking about? Yeah.
You have a solution in mind.
I didn't say I was going to kill him. You said that.
No.
Sorry,
No.
what'd you say,
I
Tuli?
have no solution in mind. I'm just telling you what's in your way. But you kill him, you're gonna make it hard for all of us. But hey, maybe you can go work out a deal with him. That's up to you. But I'm asking you, don't
Be the first time I had to squeeze a slug.
I'm telling you, I don't want him dead. Like right now, he's a pain in the ass, but he's a pain in the ass we understand. Like, we don't know what will come in next. I mean, some other crime boss far worse than this guy might come in and try to take over the space station. We don't want that.
Okay, I'm scheming. So we want to leave him in power, or at least we can't kill him, but we can con him.
Thule is kind of a one solution to a problem kind of character.
He carries a hammer. Everything's a nail.
I'm intentionally leading us to one conclusion. Feel free to lead us any other direction.
Yeah.
So I mean, the other option is we don't have to kill him. We just need to be able to get what we need out of him.
If we can.
Doesn't mean we can either con or rough up the situation to get them to get what we need.
Yeah.
And then we're the F out of here. We just don't come back to Lantillies.
Oh God!
First day in a spaceship, and we've already marked one place off the galaxy.
You guys are just gonna start putting stamps of like planets you can't come back to.
Nope. It's just a space station. It's fine.
I'm scheming over here, but you guys can keep going. Oh, so the other question I want to ask before we continue is, what was our timeline on this other mission that Axis just gave us? Like,
You don't know.
what were we supposed to be doing?
It wasn't.
We're going to scan.
He didn't really give one. Like the information was that the last place that this biochemist or whatever had been spotted was on Canary.
No,
But
it's-
the
but it
information
was like
the information was already like a year old or something. like
Right.
that. But it was
basically,
the
Right.
only lead that they had.
just because
So
it was so long ago in real time. Basically, the ISP officer's tablet that Watt found was decrypted by
that's what it
Axis. They found a manifest of imperial names of locations of where Imperials were at certain times. Tracking down the name of this botanist who was responsible for creating a lot of plagues and cures for those plagues on back planets to gain favor of Imperial power. Like, think of Imperial propaganda of planting plagues on planets and population dying out, and then the Empire shows up with the cure
Yeah.
to gain Imperial favor.
Okay, I'm remembering now. So this is the lead to find where he is, but it's an old lead.
It's an old lead of basically Canary is such a watched planet that if they had gotten off the planet, there would be an easy way to find out. But Canary is also covered with 100 killer satellites to keep it quarantined. So he told you if this person landed on the planet and is still there, they have to have an FID to land and go on the planet. So he wants you to go scan, see if you see any Imperial signals on the planet, and if you do, he wants you to land and take them out.
Got it. Okay.
But he also tells you if you're landing on the planet, it's going to be rough, and you're not taking off again until you have that code.
So it sounds like if we're going to be walking into the situation with a ship that is not entirely like up to speed or like up where we need it to be, then we're going to be fucking ourselves. Is my excuse that we can go off on this side quest?
So where is it? So I mentioned the two extra modifications, and I know I hadn't looked them up at the time we were doing our mod session. The hardened prow allows us to take the ram action and have some extra benefits from it.
You still want to ram with that ship.
Well, absolutely.
I get behind that. Yeah.
If there is a ship to ram with, it is the large heavy one. And the threat tracker is a specialized defensive computer system that would allow anytime we make a dex save while piloting with the ship, we can make a whiz save instead. So if Thule's going to be the pilot, whiz instead of dex is going to be imperative.
Cool.
Yeah, so it allows us to outmaneuver things like tracker killer droids potentially.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I mean, and depending on how that save or anything is working, if that's a whiz check or save for the ship stats as well, that's also
Yes.
better than Dex for us. So
Yeah, his indeed. It would be me making one on behalf of the ship, I guess, if I'm in that pilot position.
Yeah.
Okay. So
honestly, I'd like player me would consider that one a high priority if feasible.
Yeah, because it would give us, instead of a +0, it'd give us a +3 to those whiz saves.
All right. So what can you do here? What you don't have access to any parts, or you can't just get all of this?
nah, I can
You
I can do pretty much whatever you want. Now, how spendy it's going to be and how much time it's going to take is going to depend on what I can get. Because if I'm going to have to sit here and scrounge and scrape and beg and borrow and steal to get done whatever you want, you're going to have to pay for it.
Well, here's the thing. We're not just gonna give you a list and leave. Like we're here for the foreseeable future until we can get our ship outfitted. That means that we can go and get whatever materials need to be found, however we decide to do so.
don't beg, but I'm happy to scrape, and take.
What I'm saying is, we'll provide the parts. You just gotta, do it. And we honestly, a few of us can probably help if you'll knock a little off the labor there.
I bet I can lift more than your droid. And I point to the lifting droid.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
What kind of work you need done around a place like this?
Honestly, all my droids take care of my work. Do you think I mean, what mechanic doesn't fix his own crap?
Well, I wasn't exactly talking about that kind of work.
Um,
I glanced significantly at the two giant figures next to me.
Just like readjusts the sniper rifle on his shoulder.
Yes, thank you.
let's put it this way. What do you got to work with? How many credits you got in your pocket? What are you working with? What work do you expect done for what you got?
Well, that's why kind of why we're having this conversation. But I got about 3,000 credits.
So you got,
and all the parts from the recreation center.
What do you? Oh, I can take a look at your recreation center, and I can tell you, like, depending upon what's in there, if it's stuff that you have to go through the hut to get, I can sell on the black market here within the station and probably get you a little bit of extra credits. That can go toward my pay and towards the project that you want to get done. 3,000 credits, yeah, that'll get you. That'll get you your hidden compartments or smuggler special. But when it comes from the pew pew and the boom boom, I can get started on it, but I mean, I can sell off what's in the recreation center if you don't care what's sold, and I can try to get the money off of that project from that.
It sounds like the hardened prow and the threat detector are going to be a little more that's important to where we're going.
That's going to be your problems, is getting stuff like that. I'm gonna have to go out on the hull of your ship to install one of those, but it's getting a hold of it that's the problem. But I tell you,
where would we get a hold of one if we wanted to?
I got a connection, but I might actually have one that's on the station. But I think it's someone that owes the hut money, and you don't want to pay off his debt to pay it, because you're going to pay 5 times what the upgrade's worth. So
you let us take care of that, but just tell us the name.
It's another mechanic that operates out near the hut's location. So you got, I think his name is Fonda.
Is his first name Jane?
Nah, that was his mother.
Love it. Come on, everybody, and do the Jane Fonda.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sorry.
See, that's another thing that the hut's been doing, is he's been kind of buying up people's debts.
They're good at that. Thule says, think about all the Herglics that have been indentured servants to huts because of such things.
But the problem with buying up his debts is everything in his shop belongs to Pliz. So if you want to, you can go to Pliz and make a deal.
So before the hut came in, and the Imperials left, and the New Republic left, who did you look to as a leader?
Who did we look to as a leader? Oh, well, you don't have to worry about him. He's in space somewhere.
Well, surely there's someone around here that you respect.
You don't know nothing about Lantillies, do you?
Not from around here.
We dealt with the motherboard.
What the fuck does that mean?
Watching a lot of PBS, all I can think of is Cyber Chase right now.
All these stations is run by a droid mind. That's who decided most of the stuff. You went through him. You went through the droid mind.
So did that stop?
Yeah.
Why?
Pliz came in, convinced the droid mind that he was in charge. Now the droid mind doesn't do anything. It's locked itself away.
So you're telling me that if we take care of the slug and persuade this droid mind to take back over, things will be good.
I mean, be better, wouldn't necessarily be good.
Well, let's go for better in this situation. Okay, I can't promise the world.
I mean, honestly, that's all you ever do is just go for better. But I mean, droid mind has its drawbacks too. I mean, you got to deal with its logic, but I mean, it's better than a hut. But I don't know what Pliz did. Like I said, Pliz shows up, he starts doing all this stuff. Next thing I know, or next thing most of us knows, is he's got control of the security, and the droid mine's just shut down, locked itself away, shut down, it just closed up shop.
And you said the security is ex-Imperial.
Yeah, guys that as soon as the Empire left and they got left behind, they pulled off their stormtrooper uniforms quicker than anything. Now they just walk around. They're nothing more than hired thugs. I mean, I don't know about you and me, but the Empire didn't really hire the most credible individuals anyway.
Is it ASAB? All stormtroopers are bad? Or is it A-Stab? Oh, please let it be A-Stab.
I like A-Stab. I'm here for that.
All stormtroopers are bad. Holy shit.
But I mean, it's you got the people in the station that have enough money to pay the hut what they want, and they're living cushy. I mean, he takes care of his friends. It's people that disagree with him, the ones that refuse to play his game the way he wants to play it. Those are the ones that are suffering.
Well, let's go be one of those people.
I'm sorry, does Fonda just have the hardened prow plating, or does Honda also have the threat detector?
I don't know what he has in his shop, but I can say that last time I was in there, I think I did see a hardened prow.
So I would prioritize the threat tracker. If you know where to find one, I'd prefer to go there first.
But here's the thing about Fonda. He's one of those mechanics you want to know. Because if he ain't got it, we'll figure out how to make it.
Perfect. I know a couple guys like that too.
Now, if you can get him out from under the slug's tail, get him back to my shop, he owes me a favor or two. You get him working on your projects, we might be able to cut the time in half. Might be able to cut the supplies in half, and might be able to save you a little bit of credits. But
A good guy to know.
oh yeah, Fonda's a good guy, amazing guy, but
He's a great guy.
a great guy. Yeah, he just wakes up every day. He's just good to you.
All right, so we can scheme later, but I think we all cool tagging on this little side plot here.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
we're gonna have to.
Alright.
We're gonna have to, if we want to refit anything before we head out. I mean, it's gonna take time for that to happen anyway.
You're making my job easy.
So I feel
we might as well make ourselves busy while we're here.
like we just tell him to start pulling out the recreational center and selling the parts and see what he can get from those, and like that can be whatever work he starts on, and then hopefully we'll have made progress by the time he's finished with that. Because then we're not paying anything. Well, we'll pay labor or whatever, and then we'll get some money from the parts.
All right, if that's what you want.
He runs back in and grabs his personal Deseric set and puts it in the living quarters, and then all right, it's good to clean out now.
If that's what you want, fine. He looks over at the pit droid and the ground droid and everything. He's like, all right, go down into the ship. I want a full strip job when it comes down to the wreck suite. Take it down to the bolts.
And watch out for the little Lerman. Leave him alone.
You got a critter on there?
It's a Lerman. It's not a critter, but he has many
He's
critter-like
hard,
qualities.
What the hell's a Lerman?
It's like a little furry, 3-foot creature.
I don't deal well with pets.
He's not a pet. He's a person.
Pet our mechanic.
Oh, you have a mechanic? Why the hell you need me?
Need
Pots.
parts.
Okay, this mechanic, he ain't gonna give me a hard time, is he? Like, if I start poking around your ship.
No promises.
Oh, man. All right.
As far as we know, he's had all his shots,
And this-
so you should be safe.
And this deal's getting like worse by the minute. All right.
I will tell Watt. Will you identify yourself as Luto when you are on the ship?
Yeah.
I will tell Watt to expect you.
My name. Hey.
So Thule goes back in and just starts almost like the Warriors ringing the bottles to come out to play. Thule is tapping on vents to get Watt's attention
Lets
him know that there's an Ugnaught.
You just hear a whoosh and a vent falls, like almost hitting your toe, and Watt sticks his head down, upside down. He's almost nose to nose with you. What?
Hey, buddy. An Ugnaught's going to be coming to check out the ship for repairs and refitting. Try
Okay.
to play nice.
Okay. He like kisses your nose and goes back.
Love you too, buddy. Thule walks off. I'm never washing my nose again.
Oh my god.
A little bit of that rosy color right there at the kiss
That's
spot.
right.
Ooh, wooly.
It's a woolly.
All right. So with that being said, it is 8 o'clock, so we're going to take a break.
Cool.
Right?
Sounds good. Yep.
Woo.
Sounds
Ooh,
good.
woo.
All right, Sean,
Ooh,
you
indeed.
can go.
Whoa.
We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back. Welcome back as we are back from break. So as we last left off, you guys are leaving the maintenance bay, where you made a deal with Ludo, the local mechanic, to get some under-the-table upgrades for the bad baby.
Yeah.
So, as you guys are stepping out, you see just a chorus line of parade of droids, whatever you want to call them, going down into the elevator. 3 pit droids at a time taking the elevator down. And you just hear ratcheting and riveting noises and, like, you know, air hammers going off as they just start stripping the recreation bay. So, stepping out into, as soon as you see the sign of where you are, Omega Station.
Is there is there a map, or are you just saying that that's what? Oh,
No.
that's what we see.
Yeah, you step out into the hallway, and the first thing that hits you is a giant sign that says "Welcome to Omega Station" outside the mechanics bay that you just exited. The hallway.
And by hits you, you mean that Thule like literally walked into it?
Yeah, Tully's tall enough. He does.
Donk.
You see the outline of what were once, like, even the pegs are still there, were once held Imperial logos, insignias, possibly posters of propaganda that were here up until months ago, advertising the current, would say, rulership or loyalty of the station to be Imperial. The shadow of these logos, now just dirty insignias up on the wall where Imperial signs have been removed, posters have been removed, replaced with various graffiti, help wanted ads, other things of nature, actual paper taped or sealed or plastered up to the wall on some of the areas of the station that reads has power cells for trade for food or water. Someone states Imperial credits for food. With the inflation rate incredibly high, Imperial credits losing its value, of course, within the station. A veritable community poster board of a barter system that has taken place within this station of people that are bartering with what little items they've got because they cannot afford the Hutt's exorbitant fees on stuff outside the station. People shuffle around. You see people carrying carts filled with just random detritus that you guys would consider trash on Coruscant or any other worlds. Various bits of tubes of pulled wires of plating and coupling that people are trying to barter for various different things they need to survive or feed their families. So
we're on a space station and we need to get down to the planet to see this guy, or this guy is on the space station with us?
You are on the, as far as you know, you're on the space station, which I forgot to bring up the space station art. Forgot I had that.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So we're on this station. He just told us about Fonda. Is Fonda on the station, or is he on the planet?
Fonda is on the station.
Okay.
There are several stations
Is
like
the
this.
hut on the station?
Yes.
Or like is the hut?
There are several.
Okay.
There are several stations like this within the shipyards like this within the orbit of Lantillies, but this is Omega Station itself.
And the hut is ruling over just Omega Station, or he's ruling over all of the stations?
As far as you know, just this station. But this station is large enough that it's almost a world unto itself, at least a community.
Yeah. I'm looking up. Hang on, I'm looking something up. You guys can keep going.
So not loving. What did we get information on where Fonda was? Did Ludo give us that on like where to find him?
Ludo said that Fonda is would be in a maintenance bay near where Plids would be. He didn't tell you where he was, but he told you he would be near Pliz. And from what Luda said, he said that Pliz is buying out people's debts. So if there's a Hutt crime lord or a Hutt trying to be a possible crime lord buying out people's debts, Might not be hard to find out where he is.
Yeah.
So Tully's just gonna stop one of the random people pushing carts of detritus around. Excuse me.
You stop this one guy. He has a cart of just empty containers, empty what used to be hydro containers, the types you would see in an office fountain. He has all of them on. He has all of them kind of like stacked up, empty, and he looks at you. And when you come up, he's like, "Oh, you need plastic? Plastic really hard to come by on a station nowadays. It's like these can be melted down and used for various different things."
No.
I'm in the same boat as you, buddy. I need some money. Where's Pliz? I'm told he's the one to talk to.
He kind of looks you up and down. Oh, you gonna go be one of his strong arms? Are you gonna be asking me for money soon too?
I certainly hope not. But we all gotta get by, don't we?
Fine. You can't miss him. There was one residential section on this ship. Just follow the where people used to live. It's now his office. Everybody else sleeping in corridors, and he's sitting there and he bought up everything that was left.
He has the whole section.
Yeah. Him and his guys. I mean, people can't even eat. Of course, they're gonna take whatever credit you offer them for where they live. You got people sleeping in turbo tubes. Now they used to have luxury homes.
Scarcity's a shame. And Thule just walks off.
Yeah,
following the residential signs.
Yeah, I think Tisk follows suit. Not real keen on trying to talk to anybody here. But if I see any, I probably should have done this while I was on the ship. But I would look for any kind of like public datapad access or anything along those lines, and look up if the Bounty Hunters Guild has any information going on around like this station or anything about Pliz. Check and see if there's anything going on here otherwise.
All right. Well, you've been on a bunch of stations like this. It's rudimentary the way that they're put together. As you go around the corner where there would be public comm links and terminals, where a bounty tracker unit would be, or a bounty terminal would be, you just see wires hanging out of a wall.
Well, that doesn't help. Would there be any reason that I couldn't pull up that information from the ship?
Not really, no.
Okay. All right, I'll hold off for now then, and just continue with Thule.
Oh, but as you're sitting there and you do look for the bounty terminal, you do see that where there usually is a bank of open comm links that connect to the holonet, the Star Wars version of a payphone bank. You see 2 are still operational, but no one's touched them. There's no line for them. No one's in the booth with them. You just see the readout is blinking.
I'll walk close enough to see if I can tell what the readout is saying. Just intrigued by the fact that there's 2 here.
The rest of them seems to be
still operational.
Yeah, the other ones seem to be removed, but you just see you see the Omega logo that you've seen around all over the station so far. You see it spinning as kind of like a standby, where it's ready to, someone to walk up and just start using it. Kind of a screensaver.
Yeah. Intrigued at this point, I'll walk up and I'll pick up the comm link from it just to see what it does.
Okay. As soon as you grab the comm link, it just pops up, and as soon as it pops up and the screensaver goes away, you see this pop-up ad kind of pops up on the screen, and you see a little PNG animated feature of a hut, and it says, make sure to use your Pliz points to contact the holonet. And it's this advertisement login for this whole system of basically offering you a subscription fee to access the AOL version of getting onto the holonet here on this public terminal.
Just another low snarl in disgust. I will toss the comm link back down.
Hang on, I would be remiss if I didn't at least try, since Watt is not here to do so.
And I want to try to hack the console so that it is free again.
Okay, what are you using to hack it?
I have technology. I don't have a slicer's kit, so it's gonna have to be some I'm trying to bypass the actual physical whatever module is rerouting the thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're using your data pad, or are you using
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you hook...
Oh, sorry. You mean no? I was thinking more along the lines of rerouting wires through physical components. But I can use my wrist pad as a diagnostic type thing, and it can give me like readouts and things like that. So that's what I meant by yes, I was using it.
Okay. So, all right. So as soon as you hook up, give me a technical check.
Technology check. All right, that's a 21.
21. This is our first contested technology check.
Yeah.
You said 21?
Yep.
All right. So as you are going into this system and you're breaking into the system of this public access where it's basically a paywall has been put up to use this payphone. As you're going in and you're trying to break through the paywall, you start noticing data from that is being fed back into your wrist communicator, and something is inside your network.
Motherfucker.
Shit.
All right, can I fight back?
Yeah, you can try to. Or you can disconnect.
Fuck no, this is a challenge. I gotta fight back.
Okay.
All right, that's decent. That's a 23.
23. Okay, that is, I'm going to say, because I believe in failing up, that's 24 on their end. You will be...
Fuck, really?
You're going to be able... But you will learn one thing. As you are sitting here trying to fight back about whatever intelligence this is that's fighting against you, you being a droid mechanic, it's speaking in binary, and it's speaking really fast in binary.
I wonder if this is the droid brain that was running things and it's just been repurposed or whatever. Okay, I would like to change tactics, and I want to make a persuasion check against this fucking brain to try to like convince it that I'm like working in its best interest.
Okay.
Can I do that? It's actually a lower roll.
Okay.
Okay, not great. I rolled a 5. That's plus 8 though, so 13.
13. So, with a 13, okay, this is gonna be funny.
So basically, like, I stop hacking it, and instead I like send some like gentle queries.
Okay, the binary slows down. It stops pressing into your network for more information. As it slows down, you see the binary switches to Galactic Basic. And as it switches to Galactic Basic, you just see a readout on your data pad that says one sentence.
Okay.
Do you have sand?
Do you have sand? Is this some kind of slang that I'm not aware of? Is there some kind of check can I make an insight check to see if this is like a code?
You can try.
I have a plus 5. That's a 19.
You think. Shug's a man of the galaxy. He's heard all types of slang. He's heard different words for spice, for anything in the world. You've never heard the word sand used as any type of slang, unless it's station specific.
Okay, so my response is, I may be able to acquire some. Why do you need it?
It just stops, and it just brings it up again. No sand, no deal, and it logs off.
This is a fucking person? Alright, well, I tried. We'll have to remember this and send Watt back. I'm sure it'll come back up. I turned to Tisk and I kind of shrugged. Sorry, I tried. This isn't my thing.
Did it talk to you?
Yeah, that's the
It seemed
sand.
to talk a lot.
It also tried to break into my computer system, but
Thule
My
would
only
like
other
to.
option was to shoot it, so...
Thule would like to use the same kind of like pirate slang check that he did earlier about getting clean to identify if he's ever heard talk of sand.
Okay.
16.
16. Nah, all you remember about sand is it's rough, it's coarse, it gets everywhere.
God damn it. It had to be quoted at some point.
It's a good exfoliant, but I don't know why that would matter for a computer system.
maybe it's not the computer. Maybe it's somebody who actually wants sand. I don't know.
That's fun.
Or it's some hacker that works for a slug, whatever this name was.
Liz.
Are there any
Yeah,
other
Liz-
random
yeah, Liz.
people like just walking around here in
all
this
over
area
the
as
place.
well?
All over the place.
Great. I grab the first person that's close to us, like put a clawed hand around their arm, and like pull them over. And I hold up like a credit shit and say, "Does sand mean anything to you?"
They look at, it's an old lady you just grab, pull over, and she looks at
Yep.
you and she looks at the credit shit and she's like, "You think that means anything here?" And starts laughing. She's like, "Credits don't mean nothing. How much you got on there? Is it 1,000,000 credits on there? Because maybe that'll be something." And sand? I don't know. But she's
Hold on. Yeah, I put that back and break off a like half ration from a ration pack,
oh.
and I offer that instead.
All right. She looks at you. Her eyes get wide. Like, okay, I don't see what you're talking about. Sand. We don't have sand. It's a space station. There's no sand on a space station.
Does the term mean something here?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, and I just like release her, and I'm like, fine, and I put the ration back.
What about that?
figure out what sand means.
You just look like this defeated face on her, and she just turns and walks away.
No information, no food. I look back at Shug. I just give a shrug.
Yeah.
So we need to find Fonda. Let's go to a fucking bar. Like, there's got to be a space, like a place, like a pilot's bar where people travel around. They know where like shit is. Like, can I track one of those down?
So we know Fonda is close to Plizz's headquarters, and we know Plizz's headquarters are in the residential section.
Okay, so
Yeah, I think we just head to the residential section and see what we find from there. Like,
yeah, that works for me.
All right, sure enough, you guys are walking. It's easy. There's Galactic Basic everywhere. That's the freaking space station that tells you everywhere to go. You eventually coming out into as you come out of this hallway, and it branches off into either direction. You see one direction says Dock 1 and 2, pointing off towards the left, and to the right you see atrium, a sign that says atrium, and then past that in smaller letters underneath the atrium it says merchants quarters residential section, and it's just
That sounds like where we want to go.
pointing in that direction.
yeah, sounds good to me. Headed that way.
Right, so as you guys are going, do what?
Is there still a steady flow of people?
Oh yeah, as you guys are going down this hall, you see where benches that normally would be people waiting for ships to get built, or just waiting for, you know, transports of like moving from ship to ship. These regular like bus benches where people would be sitting there waiting for their ship to be, port of call to be called, are now makeshift beds in homes. You see almost entire families sleeping on one bench as you're going through, of these people that they don't, hate to say it this way, but they don't look like they've been homeless very long. Like, some of them are still in really nice clothes. You see people that have obviously made a living not living like this, in very nice duds that are digging through the paneling and stripping wires out. You pass several advertisement signs, holographic signs that are now broken and on the fritz, because there's individuals that are pulling the wiring out and spooling it as something to trade. This entire station almost looks like it's being stripped from the inside for parts that are not necessary for the survival of the station, for people finding anything that they can trade and use, so they can't pay the exorbitant fees that they're having to. But as you continue forward and you just go through this strip yard of people that are just trying to find anything they can, you come to this large atrium. In the middle of it is a malfunctioning hollow projection of a tree that was turning at one time, but right now it's just flittering in and out, as there's a group of kids now that are pulling holographic crystals out of the display as they're putting them into a little pouch. Nobody really paying attention to this as these kids are stripping the crystals out of this holographic projector. The image of the tree fading and changing colors as they're basically pulling out the inner workings of this holo projector. To the right, you see a sign, to the left, you see a sign that says residential quarters. It also says docking bay E1 and E2, as well as maintenance on one side. On the other, to the right, you see another that says docking bay W1, W2, and then forward you see merchant quarters and a smaller sign that says droid mind.
Let's see. So to the right we had docks east and residential. To the left we had docks west, and what else?
And forward from where you are, to like straight forward, it says merchants quarters, food habitation.
Merchants and droid mind, right?
Merchants, and then like much like a mall where the closest things are big letters and the further away is smaller letters, you see droid mind of lowercase. But you know droid mind's that way. How far it is, you don't know.
So I grab somebody in just whoever's close in this atrium space. Do you know how to get to Sarlacc's soup?
This random individual you grabbed, he's in very nice suit that on Coruscant would look, you know, kind of middle class, very nice. He looks at you and he says, "Why do you want to go to that shithole?"
I'm hungry.
Oh, then you want to go to Nellie's. That's across the way, and she's got it in with Pliz, so she's got plenty of food. She takes credits too.
Prefer little taste of sarlacc with my soups.
Well, he looks at you and rubbing his chin. He's like, I don't know how much food that girl's got, so I mean, she might be shut down. Well, you can go that way to the merchant quarters. There are only 2 restaurants over there.
Didn't he tell us that she wasn't in business anymore?
Said they were at risk of shutting down. So if I offer to buy you a meal for telling us the direction, you wouldn't want to come with us.
Not Sarlacc's, no.
Fair enough. Your loss.
You can find someone a little bit more desperate, a little more desperate than me. It's like I'm not that desperate yet. It's like I've got a couple of things with Pliz. I'm fine.
So turning back to the group and kind of shoving this guy off, being a little too uppity for Thule's taste right now. You've described people like starving on the space station, and this guy just refused a free meal, so Thule's over him. Thule turns back to the rest of you guys. I figured his goddaughter might give us better information than asking around. Perhaps an ally knows her way around this section. If her store is going out of business, doesn't have anything better to do.
Might have some better info than the mechanic.
I could use some food.
I don't know if we're gonna get any real food there, but we'll try.
Given a lead and somewhere to go at this point, like Tisk is kind of getting antsy of like needing a bead to follow. So Tisk just takes that as the decision and heads towards the merchant section.
All right. So you guys heading straight ahead instead of taking a left, you head straight. And as you get into this area, it's not very far. The station seems to be pretty big, but it almost seems like it's almost in a straight line. Eventually coming to a roundabout with you see 3 ways to go. One seems to be a circle that goes around that's covered in various tents, and you see traders set up, just selling refuse and junk anywhere else, but they're set up and they're bartering with each other. People trading what very limited rations they have. You see, very similar to what you saw in the other Undercity, a questionable cart with mystery meat hanging that was cooked. Whatever animal they found on the station to cook, be it a pet or whatnot, hanging from these spits. You see, of course, to your left, another where it's a rounded area that goes around with a line, with a hallway in the center, just filled with tents and people, a throng of individuals just trading what they can for what they can get. You see a group of Jawas off to your left, with a sign. The sign itself, dirty, messy. The Jawas have a tent set up around it, trading various things with, the Jawanese being blasted between the 4 of them. Past the Jawas, you see this dirty sign with a picture of a Sarlacc pit coming out of a bowl of soup.
That's hilarious.
Love it.
Does it look to be open?
Yeah. You see the blast door, as it was, that acts as the front door of this establishment, is open.
That's our stop. And Thule just heads straight that direction. Walks right in.
All right. Give me perception checks as you guys are walking through this crowd.
Okay. I'm so perceptive. Oh, I rolled in that one, which it makes it a 0.
18 for Thule.
18.
19 for Tisk.
All right. Hold on 1 second here. Talk amongst yourselves.
I've never really tasted sarlacc. That was a lie. Do you think you noticed?
Can't say I've had that one either.
How many points would a sarlacc be, Tisk? They're enormous creatures.
Tisk starts pondering.
Jug, I bet you could just fall into a sarlacc and be safe. You're so small. The tentacles wouldn't notice you.
Okay, well, let's not test that theory.
All right. So as you guys are walking through the Jawas and you enter into the Sarlacc pit, the Sarlacc soups, you see a small shop, very small noodle shop, 6 tables, no one sitting at them. You see a lone female, how do you pronounce his name? Arcanian, the pale white skin, long blue hair, very attractive female. sitting behind a bar. Her hair's tied up in kind of a tight ponytail. She has a tank top, but little ties off on her arms, and what apparently is a jumper tied off at her waist. As you guys walk in, she doesn't even look up. Welcome to Sarlacc Soups. I ain't got much, and she stops as soon as she sees Thule. I definitely don't have enough for you.
I look up at him. That's fair.
Can I help the three of you?
We're friends of your Uncle Ludo.
He doesn't have friends.
You're right. We're a business acquaintance.
Well, that's more like it. She looks around as if someone's going to hear her say it, and she lowers her voice. You're pirates?
I've been called worse.
Something like that.
No, we're just. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We're hunters. We're not here for the common folk.
Well, I appreciate him sending me bits. I really just have one bowl, one special today. It's prawn and noodles. It's pretty good. Just don't ask where the prawns come from.
Wouldn't dream to. How much?
I'll tell you what. I'll give you all 3 bowls for a power cell.
What?
Thule has a power cell. He doesn't use his carbine at all. So he just reaches down and rips it straight out of the carbine itself.
Is that the type of power cell he wants? Like a
Looking
work?
for.
They're universal.
Okay.
She looks at you and her eyes get. Are you for real?
I don't use it much.
Yeah.
Let's just say we need a little information with our food as well.
Oh yeah, fine, whatever you need. And she reaches over the counter and takes the power cell, and immediately you see her turn around. She jams it into a receiver, and as she does, you see fire just up on the stove as 2 of the burners light up. She's like, "Yes, all right, back in business." And she immediately starts pulling food and things out of drawers, and she's throwing water into pots. And as she does, you just see the something similar to the biscuit that showed up in Force Awakens. You just see like these vegetables rehydrate, and she's chopping them, and you see smoke and steam and actually pretty delicious smell coming out as her back's to you as she starts making something on the stove. You see her at one point, she pulls out this tray that's covered, and you see almost the look of disgust on her face where she dumps this weird looking meat into the bowl that she's boiling. These little, almost looks like peeled shrimp as she's dropping them into the pot.
That's what we're not asking about.
Correct.
She looks back at you, the sweat on her brow. As she's cooking, it's very hot in here. She's got one of her bandanas that was on her arm. It's now tied around her head. She looks back and she's like, okay, what information do you need? You said you needed information too.
We have some business with the local hut, and we're trying to find him.
You're going to work for that slug?
Well, I didn't say we were going to work for him. I said we had some business with him.
Oh, then you missed the turnoff for his place. He's at the atrium. You take a left and it'd say he lives in the residential center. He's turned it into a little fortress.
Okay, and what about a mechanic around these parts called Fonda?
Yeah, Fonda's a different story, and you see the sad look on her face.
Well, your uncle told us to look him up, and we think we can help him, so if you can direct us, be helpful.
Fonda he wouldn't be very far away from wherever Pliz is. But before the imps left, Fonda owed the droid mine. The droid mine gave him some credit, and he owed it. And then Pliz purchased the credit away from the droid mine, which it's not supposed to do. It's not supposed to do. They said on the station that any outside creditors are not supposed to be able to deal with the droid mine like that. If you borrow from the station proper and you borrow from the station's treasury, you should be able to pay the station back. She just goes into this rant. It's not really fair. He did the proper channels, and then I don't know. Pliz shouldn't be able to do what he did.
We understand the corruption of loan sharks, especially the hut. But can you tell us more about the droid mind?
What's there?
Is it offline now?
No. If it was offline, we wouldn't be able to breathe.
What do you think happened to let Pliz get control of it?
I have no idea. It's supposed to be unhackable. Droid mines were put in, but before the New Republic, the droid mines were the answer for ship-wide. Until they put the droid mines in, the station directors that they put in charge of all these stations, they would have a monopoly because they controlled everything. So they put the droid mine in here to keep the bureaucracy down and to keep people from basically skimming off the top. It controls everything. It controls the life. It controls the power, the life support. Even controlled every station's economy. Like, you could, if you needed money, you go borrow it from the droid mine. It doesn't even charge interest. You just paid it back when you could.
How long has Pliz been in charge? When did he get here?
I don't know. The Empire pulled out sometime last year. Pliz showed up a little after that. He's been charged several months now, and then it just started getting bad. Prices just started going up and up and up on any goods coming from outside the station. I can't even get any food. All I can get is these damn roaches that I mean.
What about sand? You hear anything about sand? I'm just looking for like a reaction.
There's sand. You're on a space station. There's no sand here. We don't even have trees. We got a holographic tree. Why would you be talking about sand?
Forget. I thought it was a slang. Never mind.
Do you know if Liz has any control outside of this station? We noticed several stations on our way into dock.
No, the stations haven't really talked to each other since the Empire pulled out. Everybody's kind of just been for themselves. And I mean, there's no lack of business. You seen the ships out there. Everybody's just trying to grab a spot. Why'd you decide to come to Omega anyway? This isn't really the best one.
Yeah, well, it's the one we came to, and now we're stuck here.
I know how that feels.
Your Uncle Ludo.
What about him?
Is he good enough at what he does?
Oh, he's the best. He's been in business here for the longest time. When my mom dropped me off for him to take care of me, I mean, he doesn't really do legal work.
That sounds like we came right where we needed to.
But you all know that. I mean, that's why you're here, right?
Hisk like looks up from a bowl of the stuff that he's just been shoveling in his face.
It's actually
Just
pretty
kinda gives
good.
a non-committal.
It's actually pretty good.
Tisk gives no fucks about what this is or is not.
The prawns
It's
are a little.
noodles and it's meat.
The prawns are a little gamey, and they got a little bit of a oil taste to them. They're a little oily, like almost like escargot. But
I'm not gonna ask. I'm just gonna eat it.
right?
And with the right seasonings, anything's edible.
Slurping up some noodles. Any idea roughly how many men Pliz has?
Anybody you see walking around in old Empire jumpsuits or New Republic uniforms, all of them work for him. All of them. Anybody that can carry a blaster and looks tough, he hires. I don't know how he gets all the money he's got.
Kind of thinking back through the station as we've walked through. I mean, like, how many people walking around did we see in those kinds of uniforms?
Walking through, you did see several very similar to the station from the very first of the game. When you guys saw the New Republic investigators, you did see New Republic investigators as you came in, but the uniforms are definitely not as crisp as the ones that you saw. And several gray jumpsuits of people that are openly carrying blasters, either side holsters or some slung over their shoulders.
Gotcha.
Mingled in with the crowd, just kind of walking around. As this is going on, you hear a Jawa. It's like going off at the entrance, and you see Shozen turn around. She's like, no, you get out of here, you little thief, get out of here. And she actually throws a pot, and you see the Jawa's like, ah, and just runs off. And you'd see the pot just hits the wall and almost lands where the Jawas are.
What's going on there?
They're little thieves. They're pickpockets. They steal stuff for Plaza.
For who?
Pliz. Sorry, that was me screwing up on them.
Sorry.
They still suffer Pliz. That's why you let them run around the market. You didn't walk through them, did you?
I don't think so.
I did, but I was keeping a pretty sharp eye on him. And Thule begins checking himself.
Before he wrecks himself? Okay.
Yep. Chickadee checks.
Alright. You check your equipment. You don't see anything missing, really.
I guess Tisk does likewise, sitting there, but
Going through your equipment, nothing. Everything's there. Explosives, grenades.
I still seem to have everything, but good to know.
So then, if Bonda is also in the residential district with Pliz, that's two birds with one search. Or one sector, sorry.
Well, why do you want Fonda? What did he do?
We
think
want
we can
to
help him, I
clear
told you.
his debt.
He's a little slow, but he's a really, really good mechanic.
That's what we've heard. We need a really good mechanic.
You said your godfather was the best. He said Fonda can help him. We need them both.
Well, if he goes good, and he is the best on the station, but okay, don't tell him I said this, because, he's my uncle, he raised me, but Fonda's better.
Good to know.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I mean, that's probably
What-
probably why he wants Fonda to help him.
Is Fonda he's an Anzellan, isn't he?
No,
Well, all the best mechanics are, so he can't be that good.
he's a Bith.
Anything we need to get into the residential area?
Money. That's the only thing Pliz cares about. Or if you want to work for
There's
him.
charge even just to walk in.
He probably won't pay attention to you unless you have an offer of some type. Or you tell him you want to buy a license.
What if I tell him I'm interested in being hired as muscle?
Yeah, he'd probably talk to you in a heartbeat. I think they have 3 heartbeats. Either that or
Sounds like an easy ticket in.
if you either that or you got to pay an import. You buy an import license from him. Any type of business you do that would bring in something from off station, you have to buy an import license from him, and he gets a percentage of what you sell. I won't buy an import license from him. That's the reason I can't get food on this in my restaurant.
So we go in and just Dax and Jactor with a +1. And you are a manager selling, hiring us out for muscle.
Or I bet you they have some nice underground fighting rings here.
Say less. I'm in.
And we've got footage of you fighting already, and we can play that up as like you're a big time Coruscant fighter coming here to fight in Lantillies. Just saying, make a show out of it.
No more falls to Gungans.
Still won't let that down.
Like I said, we're not throwing fights. We're gonna win.
Sounds like something we have to offer.
Sounds like regardless, we need to check out the residential.
And we can the best lies have a little bit of truth, right? So we can even tell them that we're passing through, but we need some work done on the ship, and that's why we're here. That's you know.
Sure. Whatever you say, boss.
Slurping the bottom of the bowl. So then, on we go.
Let's go Kana Hut.
I reach into my pack and take out the half of a ration that I had offered to somebody else, and I lay it on the table. A tip.
She looks at you. She says, "Oh, this will be great bait."
Thanks for the noodles. And I will walk back outside and take another good look around outside at seeing if anybody's paying any particular attention to us coming out of this place.
Okay, so you walk out. The first thing you see is, as you walk out, all the Jawas are they have a little shop set up right outside this little restaurant. But roll a perception check.
It's pretty solid. It's another 19.
Okay, as you're sitting there watching the Jawas, you see the racket that they're running. As they're sitting there, and a couple of them are making trades with various carts that are being pushed by with items on it. You see the ones that aren't taking items off the carts that the people are not paying attention and immediately putting it on their tables as if they're selling it.
Cute.
If the Jawas come close to us as we exit, Thule immediately puts his hand on his electro hammer to get close, like within 5 feet.
Okay.
Thule is.
Yeah, if anything goes to make a reach for it, I'm grabbing a hand. There's not playing that fucking game.
As you guys are leaving, and
I put my droid into hunter mode, and the fucking shock prod comes out and it goes to scare them away.
as Tisk and Thule step out, and you being the last one to leave, Shug, Shozen looks at you and says, "Be careful with Fonda."
Well, I told you we're here to help him, but this is we're not gonna rough him up.
No,
we need him. We need to get him off. We need him to get off the planet.
That's not what I mean. He's really, really brilliant is what he does, but he's not that bright.
I gesture to Thule and Tisk walking away. It's all right. I'm used to dealing with it.
Look, he's
Sorry.
in a galaxy this bad. He's a gentle soul, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I'm picking up what you step. I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
Gross.
All right, enjoy your stay on Omega.
Cheers.
And off to the residential district.
Is that a good place to call it?
Yeah, we can call it here. Sounds fine. We'll just say off to the residential district. All right. So yeah, we will call it there, and maybe next week we'll have a full set of players for the first time in a long time. So
Definitely feels like it's been a minute since we've had everybody here.
yeah, it does. I'm gonna clean up chat real quick. There we go, and we'll let everybody roll for accolades.
Yes.
14.
6.
I remember how to do this, I promise. 4!
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that works.
So Jacob, then me, then Sean.
Yep.
I normally do a good job of like writing things down, and I did not jot things down tonight. Let's see. I had things though. Let's see. It was for the sake of how much Bill hated it. I will throw mine to Derek out for the name suggestion on Bad Baby.
No, it wasn't Bad Baby that bothered me. It's the dirty Bad Baby bothered me. I just
It was Sean.
Well, I give it for the prompting of the rest of what came after then.
I do not know. I do not like what came out of the Bad Baby. I do not like it.
I got a good laugh out of the resulting situation from everybody involved. So, and then
Thank you.
It's any of our viewers with a diaper kink. We're not here to yuck your yum. Offense at anything we're saying.
The
No,
fact
Bill
that
is. That's what he's saying.
to each their own. To each their own.
diaper kink and yuck your yum are two things that should never be said in the same sentence ever again. Ever again.
Fantastic. Bill, I like this little like microcosm on the station that you got set up here of situations of like very realistic kind of situation that absolutely makes sense to happen in a random like hub set of stations like this when the Empire vacated. I think it's a cool setup that you got going on. I look forward to having a reason to fuck up some imps and piss off a hut. But it's made for an interesting little like stopover while we figure out what to do getting the ship retrofitted.
Yeah, you're stopping in the ghetto to refuel.
Gun store, liquor store, gun store, gun store, liquor store, gun store. Wait a second. I know where we
Yeah.
are.
There's a YouTube series called Surviving the Ghetto. It's absolutely hilarious. It's like they do scenarios, and it does the one where the guy's walking through the ghetto and the guy's like, "Hey!" And he's like, "If someone calls you and doesn't use your name, you do not turn around."
Not a car backfiring. You need the serpentine.
All right, so as Jacob's next is the Derek.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Bill. You had a couple really cool moments of world building tonight, or I don't even like of showing us how you've put a lot of world building into like the things that are going on. And I can't remember. There were like 3 of them where I was like, "Damn, that was good. I want to talk about that." And now they've fled my brain. But you've done a really good job of giving us glimpses of what's going on in the fallout of like the Imperials leaving. Like just a couple details that you've given us. One of them was about like Lantillies itself. One of them is about like Omega Station and like just the ripple effect that's had, and that's been really cool to see. That and then the so we got onto this station, and I was like, okay, I'm wondering if this is going to be like an actual destination or if this is just a stopover to the next quest. And then you started like weaving this sob story, and I was like, okay, I think he has something here. And then you put the fucking noodles in there, and I was like, man, he knew exactly what fucking strings to pull to make us help here.
It's a noodle shop about to go under.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
like, and
I don't care about anybody else on here, but we got to save the noodles.
Yeah, and I'm partly curious, and you don't have to answer this, but like, part of me is like, you saved that for so long that I was wondering if it occurred to you in the moment that that's what was going to tip us over, or if you had that planned in your head.
You'll never know.
The acceptable answer.
What is it? It's like,
yeah.
oh, I can look at the DM's notes and see it's all blank. Always has been.
Yeah, and then as a player accolade, dovetailing from that moment, it was specifically Sean's reaction to when you said the noodle store. Like literally, I saw his head turn and he was like, "The fucking what you said?" I like watched it happen. It was fucking hilarious.
A funny story is I was blanking on a noodle shop idea. I was so blanking on a noodle shop like name, and I needed one so bad that I even actually contacted one of my VTuber close friends, and I was just like, quickly, I need a name for a noodle shop in a Star Wars universe. And the first thing that popped out is she's like, all I can think of is Starlight Soups, and I went, sold.
Perfect. Yep.
For it.
All right, so
That was wonderful.
next up would be Sean.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of echo. The low hanging fruit there is the dropped noodle shop for my character personally being engaged, but the whole dystopian currency exchange of like everything that we knew as currency no longer can actually help us.
Yep.
I love that niche. So this whole thing, as a player, I'm like trying to problem solve. How can we set up a new standard?
Oh, we just lost you. Your mic just completely got out.
No, I caught it. Yeah, no, I heard him.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, sorry. It was as a player, I spent the session trying to figure out how to reestablish currency so that these people don't have to rely on a hut.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
As a character, I was trying to be more brutish about it, but
What can be the new currency?
roaches. Tried for players. I really liked Shug taking on the kind of mastermind role again. I'm gonna put these together and whatnot, but then also the response to like the paywall of the interwebs of like, no, fuck this shit.
That was,
Not what
that
I
was
sound.
bleeding through hard.
That was my
God, I hated it.
that was my
I
favorite.
hated it so bad.
That I will admit, that's something I pulled out of my ass at the last second.
Just the level of authoritarian like foreshadowing that led to, right? Because like access to media being restricted is a major red flag. So
Major
like
red flag?
when major red flag, when Tisk noticed that, and then your response as Tisk to that of like, nope, I'm slamming the shit down, like I'm not Mr. Perfect.
So yeah,
All right, Bill, you're up.
yeah, the number one thing is the argument that going into you guys, the argument of what is the ship's name. It's not. I'm gonna give that, like, Derek, that whole you saw into my head, because that's what I was seeing. Was like, oh, you okay? What's your call sign? What's your designation? It's the hand over the mic. Oh shit, guys, what do we call ourselves?
Right.
We spent all this time, we didn't think of a name.
But I think one of the world building moments, because I saw it in your face, Derek, was when I mentioned the Alderanian flotilla.
Oh, fucking yes. Fucking, like, okay. So I want to go down this rabbit hole for a second. Okay, so there's this planet that got fucking destroyed, but of course there are hundreds of people off planet that are Alderanians. And so what do you do when you don't have a planet anymore? You fucking you get your friends and you fucking drive around together. Like you're a nomadic people now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
You've become a nomadic that was such a cool detail. Like, I love that.
Yeah, and I will say that Mass Effect and the Quarians and Battlestar Galactica, very very much inspired that.
Loved it.
Yeah, but I've always loved the idea of, you know, what did all the Andoranians that fucking survived? What are they doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, that moment is like, Derry, that was great. It's like I saw Shug's reaction to that, and I'll harken back to with Tisk, the whole reaction to the ALL subscription to get out. Yeah, I'll say that was great. Like I thought that was really fun to like role play with you and come up with, and I was like, it's just this reaction, I couldn't ask for more. And with Thule, honestly, you picking up on what I'm putting down when it came to the pirate slang of, you know, as soon as this guy saw the ship and it was like, oh yeah, I was like, even before I had you roll it, I think you figured what was pretty much going down, that it was coach or something. It's like, yeah, it's like that was a perfect instinct player, like, DM moment. But yeah, it was a great time tonight. I feel bad that Gabe missed an awesome game. Hopefully he goes back and listens to this. Although I do hope he's okay with me making Watt kiss Thule on the nose.
I think that's an absolutely in-character decision.
So, definitely. And
regardless, Thule is okay with it, so that's the important part.
yeah. I can't remember who I gave inspiration to last time. So I think through everybody's reaction, as much as I hate to give it, it's got to go to Shug for the suggestion of Bad Baby.
Oh, fuck you. Why do you hate to give it?
Because of what it gave birth to.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's a dirty.
Normally, bad babies don't give birth.
Because of the horrible thing that came out of that bad baby, that it would not stop coming out.
I hate the boring thing. Yeah. Red.
All hands on deck for Bad Baby.
Nope. All right.
Cool.
With that,
Thank you, bud.
With that being said, did you not have one? You guys have been using inspiration.
No, I did not have one. Sorry.
I'm not shocked. You guys have been using inspiration like crazy. This isn't Thrain.
My rolls were all solid tonight, which means they'll be shit next time for sure. So I'm sure I'll use mine next time.
Everything in balance.
Yeah,
all right. So thank you guys very much for spending some time with us. We will, be back next week, hopefully. We've been missing weeks, so we'll be back next week with a new episode out on Wednesday as we continue this venture into Omega Station. Hopefully we'll have everybody back. And as we like to say here at the Forever DMs, practice kindness. It is a free action, and we will catch you guys later. Bye now.